Ilia Topuria is an absolute monster, and we saw him beat Josh Emmett, ranked number 5 in the featherweight division, this past Saturday. And we even had a 50-42 judges scorecard. Unbelievable, a 10-7 round. And I just want to say that I don't think we've seen boxing in the UFC that good in a long time. We have the elite boxers in the UFC, but this kid didn't mess up one time. His jab was effective throughout the whole fight. His slips were impeccable. His footwork, his counter striking, everything was so good. And he's doing it against a top 5 featherweight in Josh Emmett, who's an absolute monster, but we'll get to him. So I think the 26-year-old undefeated fighter, Ilia Topuria, what's next for him? He gets a title shot. At the end of the day, we have Brian Ortega, Max Holloway. They're in the top 5. At this point, gatekeepers of the division. You don't feed them to Volk again. Given that Yair wins, maybe you have them come into the mix. I think Volk takes that fight. If Volk beats Yair Rodriguez next weekend, Topuria gets that next title shot. If Yair Rodriguez wins, then we could see a mix-up in the matchups. But I think the explosive fight, the fight that would sell the most, it would be absolutely phenomenal in every sense of the word. It'll be a striking masterpiece. Is Volkanovski versus Topuria. So in my eyes, Volkanovski wins International Fight Week. We give Topuria Volkanovski, and I think we see fireworks. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think below, and who should Topuria fight next. But moving on, I just want to give credit when it's due. Josh Emmett, me and my friend were joking that he looks like an orc from the Lord of the Rings. He does, but he also fights like one. Man, that guy, if you got to go to war with someone, go to war with Josh Emmett. He took a hell of a beating. He was completely outclassed, but man, he never gave up. The tenacity, the grit he showed, his heart, it was just absolutely incredible. And, going into that fight, I kept saying, we could see Josh Emmett finish Topuria. He just needs to land that haymaker. Josh Emmett has the power to do it. He couldn't find it throughout the fight, landed a few good punches, but he couldn't find that big blow. But what was impressive was he was looking for it for 25 minutes. In the 5th round, his corner told him, they're like, hey, you got 5 minutes, end it here. And he went into the 5th round like if he was as fresh as the 1st round, just looking for the big blow. He looked just as explosive, just as energetic, and it was incredible. And I think that Topuria respected him so much that for the last 2.5 minutes of the fight, he actually took him down and held him down because he didn't want to risk Josh Emmett seeing red for the last 2 minutes of the fight and potentially getting caught. He reminded me a lot of Dan Henderson, just that right hand just waiting to unleash and come in like a freaking missile. So I want to give props to Josh Emmett. Unfortunately, I think this is a tough loss. Yeah, Topuria is the new and upcoming kid, but Josh Emmett's been taking some tough losses in the top 5. It doesn't look good. It's going to be a long road for that championship belt. But you know what? There's a new kid in town, and I'm dying to see what he does next. Let me know what your best matchup for the featherweight division is, guys. And of course, subscribe, like, follow. Go check out my Instagram and TikTok. I appreciate all of you making a lot more of these videos, and I have my studio set up in just next week. So thanks again.